Thank you very much, my friend. I regret your situation. If that is the kind of treatment you have gone through, I apologize. And I will take action in this manner. No Kenya. And I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that there will be no extrajudicial killing. There will be no River Yala. There will be no, we used to have 20, 30 bodies in River.
Okay. Aya, William Ruto amekuja. Yeah, this is X-Space. Naona William Ruto hapa, naona State House. Na nimeona
Hey guys, so the president is here. Feel free to engage. You can send the request, then I'll add you. Kevin, you can take the mic.
Imagine ameni block president yuko hapo amefika.
Joy, do you hear me?
I can hear you quite well. Can you hear me though?
You guys can you
Yes,
tapuru tusikie Ruto sasa. Ai, mbona hao vijana wanabie vivi?
Okay, let you pass. Take the mic.
Mbona watu waongei?
Msiogope kuongea by the way. Ongea tu vile mimi huongea.
Osama, unanisikia?
Yes.
Now my question to the president was, how come he's so out of touch with reality? The other day when he was addressing us, he was completely out of touch in reality. Hakujua watu wenye waliuliwa. Ali commend police for shooting a lot of innocent guys. Kids were killed. The other day when that kid was killed, alikuwa anasema he was actually not remorseful. And did that child die? How do you expect such a child to be alive in a situation kama hiyo? Another thing is
tapuru guys.
Sisi tunataka dissolve gava. I mean cabinet yake. I'm so nervous, I'm sorry. Nataka dissolve. I'm speaking on behalf of my fellow Gen Zs, although I'm not a leader whatsoever. To dissolve the cabinet, siku reshuffle could be solved like what Kibaki did in the year 2005. Another thing is to hold all the rogue police officers accountable. Their photos are everywhere. We've seen them. None has been arrested. None has been posted on the DCI page. And we're asking why. The thing is,
nime request kupanda huko guys.
Themselves as a leader to us who kwa kivyake na is on their own missions. Another thing is to please sort out the passport issues. Kibaki, our interior minister is somewhat also out of touch with reality and incompetent. He doesn't deserve to be there. We thought he was smart until he proved us wrong. Another thing is with the US embassy. Wase wengi ukwendanga huko hivyo wanatonga mingi sana kwenye hizo interviews and blah 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 na eventually wananyimwa hizo visas. So can they also sort that out? Asanteni.
Thank you, Kevin. Says alafu the president will answer everything. We just need answers. That's why we are here. And actions.
Thank you, Otero. Good afternoon, everyone, again, and welcome to this conversation. I think Otero amefanya ile kitu, but as requested and promised, requested by and promised to the young people of Kenya, President Ruto is hosting this express conversation. We are hosting with him together with my co-host Otero. And the president is here largely to listen, engage, and be a recipient of your thoughts, your experiences, ideas zenu for a better Kenya. Of course, it's a pleasure to be here and engage with you. This is an open forum. We encourage you to ask questions and share your thoughts. Please keep your questions as brief as possible and respectful.
I have
If you can limit your
requested.
questions to just 2 minutes. We say 2 minutes for each person. As you can imagine, many people have a lot to say. Let's engage. And here now is President William Ruto.
Thank you very much, Hussein. Thank you very much, Otero. And welcome all good people, ladies and gentlemen, from different parts of Kenya, from different parts of the world to this conversation. As I promised, I have come and I want to apologize first that for the last almost 1 hour, we haven't been in a position to have a proper connection as technology would be. I think that is some of the vagaries of technology, but now I'm here. I apologize that maybe some people have asked some questions, but that I didn't have the benefit of hearing them. But let me say that I am very happy that we are having this conversation, a conversation about issues, a conversation about our country, a conversation about issues that affect each and every one of us. We are not discussing tribes, we are not discussing positions, we are not discussing all those things that are personalities and things like those.
Ongea.
We are discussing
Jibu
issues of
maswali.
importance to each and every one of us, from jobs to governance to corruption to all the things that matter to all of us. And as I have said, I have come here to listen very carefully. That one thing I have been accused of not doing, that is what I have come here to do, number one. Number two, I must say that maybe I have been listening in different other spaces. Now I have an opportunity to listen on this platform to different Kenyans from different parts of the world and from our great country, Kenya. Now, let me just say 2 or 3 things that I think I had the last 2 speakers who asked their questions. The question number 1 that I have that has been asked is from Kevin, I think, that maybe I'm out of touch. How did I not know what was happening in the country? But let me tell Kevin and all of us that I have the benefit of more information in my hands. What I cannot do is do things like operate on numbers that have no basis.
Hey.
If you heard me very clearly, I said up to now, 25 Kenyans died out of this unfortunate scenario that affected our country the last 2 weeks. Some reckless people have put numbers all the way to 150. You know, in fact, on one occasion, the Kenya Human Rights Commission said 157 Kenyans have been, there was a massacre in Kidurai. That was not true. And for your information, even the BBC, on hearing such, outrageous allegations, went to investigate. And if you listen to the BBC, they say there was no such thing. In fact, one Kenyan unfortunately lost his life in Kithurai. Let me go to the situation which was which happened in Rongai, where we lost a young Kenyan. The situation in Githurai was that a criminal in Rongai, a criminal assaulted the police, took over the firearm of the police, and shot, and unfortunately that bullet went and killed a young Kenyan. And unfortunately, again, and we have to be honest with one another, it was said that this young Kenyan was pumped with 8 bullets. That is also not true in Rongai, And so there is a lot of information out there in the social media propagated by people to try and create a situation that did not exist. In fact, I heard Kevin say, I was asking the one who, did he die? Because, you know, the one that was being said of 8 bullets did not exist. In fact, we have now found out that the one of 8 bullets happened several years ago, somewhere in Buruburu, and it was in a completely different scenario. But on Rongai, I was very clear. I had the benefit of information, and I spoke to that information. The same narrative I gave when I gave the interview on Sunday is the same narrative I have at the moment. I have also been, Kevin has also said that we need to hold the police accountable, and that is correct. And it has been said that I am the president. Yes, I am the president of Kenya.
Tapuru had me the
But
host.
the president doesn't hold absolute power.
I've requested to speak.
That is why we are a democracy. In a democracy, there is a system of checks and balances. The president is not a dictator. I cannot decide for the judiciary. I cannot decide for the legislature. They make their own independent decisions. I cannot decide for independent institutions. The police, and let me say this without fear of any contradiction. When I came into office, I said I will respect the independence of the police. In fact, the one act I did when I came into office, the first day when I sat on my table as president, I signed the instrument to remove the budget of the police from my office, because that budget was being used to manipulate the police. You all know that it is said, he who pays the piper calls the tune. So I did not want my office to be the one to decide for the police on who to arrest, who to charge, how to pursue corruption. I provide policy, the police run independently. In fact, if you read the Constitution of Kenya, the police is an independent institution. It doesn't take instructions from me. It doesn't take instructions from the Chief Justice. It doesn't take instructions from the Speaker or from the legislature. They act independently. I agree, good people, that innocent lives were lost. And one life lost is one too many. I have said in my statement that as government, we are going to support.
Chekesha. Guys, watu wamemnyang'anya nini? Wamemdropisha, amekuwa listener. Ebu niambie huyu Dennis. Ebu niambie huyu Dennis ani adabu.
Nikaa kunaishia connection.
Akijenzi wako fani.
Sasa unasikia?
Kama akona issue
Nasikia Utero. Just one moment, let the president use my handset.
Kama akona issue ya connection ako hapo anafanya nini? Amesimama hapo kwa.
Osama Otero, I got a question in regards to what the president has said just now.
No.
First of all, I'm quite dismayed that he's still trying to clear his name. It is about accountability here. He's talking about the number of bullets that killed a citizen. Is it about one person dying or 100 people dying?
Oh
we
my God.
know very well that the number exceeds 25 people. And it is not about one person or 25 people or 1 million people. It is about people being killed recklessly. He is still not taking accountability for his actions. And yes, if he says it is a democracy, we agree. That is what we expect of a president, of a Kenyan. Because independence was fought for and earned 12 December 1963. Now, we're still fighting to free ourselves from the IMF and World Bank, respectively. He's talking about the number of bullets that killed a citizen. He's talking about a citizen in Githurai attacking the police at 3 a.m.? Really? Honestly, Mr. William Ruto, your accountability is zero. I'm quite dismayed, honestly, because you came here to answer to the citizens, but you're taking zero accountability for it. And if you say they're independent, why do you laud the police for the murder of civilians? Why do you hold a press conference and tell the police that, citizens, that they're going to be met with equal force if they go and protest?
I've
And what he
requested,
meant,
guys.
he did not use the word protest precisely, but he said anyone who tries to disrupt the peace of the country. Protesters, how do protesters disrupt the peace of the country? Why do you laud the police when people are killed? Why are police shooting at civilians on their balconies? Why are people fleeing Kenya so that they may have peace? Why are they being abducted? You might say that the police body is independent, but this is not a democracy. It is not functioning like a democracy, but a dictatorship, Mr. William Ruto. Because the way the police are handling the situation is not fit. Okay, even though you say they're independent, you have the power to stop the killings. But instead you go, after all the killings, you go hold a press conference and laud them. Sincerely, we saw Mano Mano last year, how you dealt with the citizens. Same scenario this year. When is that going to stop? What kind of a democracy is this? Can you define what a democracy is, Mr. William Ruto? I think you grew up in a very authoritarian family, that you expect people just to dance to your tune. In a democracy, the right to picket and to protest is guaranteed in the Constitution. The countries you travel to, Germany, United States, first of all, why did you grant them visa-free entry to Kenya? Africans do not have the luxury, even diasporans don't have that luxury. The way diasporans are being treated at the airport, these bills. Now, what you did when you granted Europeans visa-free entry to the country is giving them the right to disrespect Kenyan citizens abroad. And the fee that was supposed to be incurred through the payment of visas is transferred to Kenyans. I mean, that is simple mathematics. You should know that.
Okay, Kenyan German lady, thank you so much.
The same expectations for European nations and the West in general as they set for Kenyans.
Okay,
why do you sit with them all the time and then the conditions worsen for Kenyans?
Okay, if you can hear me, Kenyan German lady, let's give it, we said we'll limit it to 2 minutes so that we give everybody a chance to... No worries. You are at liberty, of course, to ask your question, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Let me help. Let me say this to my sister.
My sister.
The right to picket, the right, and I said it in my statement, is enshrined in the Constitution. But let me also make a distinction. I said the protesters, peaceful, within their democratic right, were hijacked. There are people who infiltrated. And I am very sure that the people who banned the office of the Chief Justice, the people who banned Parliament, are not the peaceful protesters. These are criminals who I was speaking to, and I was saying the police must stop criminals who are banning institutions, who are banning people who have gone to destroy people's property. I don't think those were innocent demonstrators. I know for sure that innocent demonstrators came out to protest, to picket, because it is provided for by the Constitution. But honestly, do you want to tell me that the innocent protesters, the people who had come to picket, are the ones who broke up shops, stole people's property, burned down Parliament? I don't think so. And we need to protect the protesters, but we need to keep the criminals who want to cause mayhem out. And I have the responsibility to do both by assisting, getting the police to do what they have to do. It is my responsibility to facilitate the police. The police will tell you, ever since I came into office, I have tried to assist them, to get them the right equipment, to get them the right capability to protect the country and to protect innocent.
Yawa. Nimefanya nini hata mimi? Okay.
They were all over. Who took away their money? Who stole from them? This is the balance we need to get. But let me tell you, ultimately, after I have said everything I have said, I am ultimately responsible because I am president. And that is why I said it was regrettable. It was unfortunate that we lost lives in this engagement. And I have said government is going to assist all the families as to the extent that we can to make sure that we minimize the loss that they have gone through. Let me also say the following. On matters to do with passports, I think we have made a very big step in the right direction to make sure that we deal with the challenge of passports. And even now, we have even a green channel to Kenyans who are looking for jobs abroad. Today, there is a green channel at immigration to make sure that those Kenyans who have jobs abroad can be able to be processed much more easily. Let me also say, there is a reason why we have a visa-free regime in Kenya. And when I say a visa-free regime, it doesn't mean that people come to Kenya for free. That is not the same. It is that we have simplified the process. Today, you will come to Kenya. We have simplified the process because we want to escalate our numbers. And for your information, because of the visa-free regime, we now have a program called ETA. Our numbers for tourism have gone up by 500,000. More Kenyans today have jobs in our hotels. Our hotels in Kenya today are 80% full in many instances. If you speak to the tourism sector, they will tell you our numbers for tourism in 2022 was close to 1 million. Last year, it was 2 million. This year, we are heading to 2.7 million. It is part of the interventions that I have made. It is part of the changing of how do you come to Kenya. Make it easy. Today, you don't have to go to no office. Today, you can get your ETA, pay for it online, and be able to come to Kenya easily. And Kenya is not the only country in Africa that is doing that. We are all doing that. Look at what is happening in Europe. 27 countries in Europe, they don't have a visa between them. They have abolished visa between them. Why would we want to keep a visa regime that keeps business people, that keeps tourists out and makes it much more difficult for them to come and enjoy what we have? For your information, Kenya should not be having 2.7 million tourists. We should be having 10 million. In fact, London has nothing to show. London is blocks, old places. They have 20 million tourists. We should be having 10 million tourists. It is my focus that in the next 5 years, I want to double the number of tourists coming to Kenya by 2027, 2028, and progressively do that. Why do I need tourists in Kenya? We need to create jobs for millions of young people in our country. We need to create investment in Kenya. We need to make sure that our farmers have a place to sell their food, their produce. This is why I am doing the visa free. It is not us versus them. We are looking after our own interest, and that's what I'm doing. Let me also say the following. Many people have asked me why I shouldn't dissolve cabinet. You see, when you sit in the place that I sit, there are many things that you have to think about. And I have given my undertaking this afternoon, that I am in the process of looking at how differently we can be able to reorganize government for it to deliver effectively, appropriately, and I have listed a number of interventions that I believe will take us to the next level, added on to what we were doing. I have also heard from my good sister who said that what happens to the finance bill? Is it going to become law in 21 days? Because that was the biggest beef. And why did I wait until it was too late? Let me answer it this way. First, let me say that the finance bill today was a victim of many falsehoods and propaganda. The finance bill today was meant to achieve very important things for the Republic of Kenya. Unfortunately, I gave in because the people of Kenya had decided they do not want it, which is okay. But was there a problem with the finance bill? I would want a honest interrogation of the finance bill. For example, it was said that the finance bill had matters to do with increasing money for land rates and land rent and changing the whole configuration. Let me tell you, there is no single sentence in the finance bill that speaks to land rents and land issues. It was not true. It also says that we had put in there taxes that would make it difficult for people suffering from cancer. Let me tell you that, in fact, in this finance bill, we had put there 2 billion shillings to pay for the people who have cancer, who have diabetes, who have hypertension, because under our universal housing program. In this same bill, we had put interventions that would create more jobs. We had said, for example, there is no need for us to import diapers, to import pampers, to import liquor, to import furniture from all manner of places when there are enough factories in Kenya to manufacture these products. And these products manufactured by Kenyan young people, building Kenyan wealth, we were protecting our own industries so that we can protect our own jobs and give opportunities.
There is one thing, Mr. President. Haunanga huruma. You are not empathetic. Nini kitu imekasisha watu wengi, Mr. President? Na hii shida yote ilianza ile time ya floods. Remember time ya floods? Watu walikuwa wanateseka. You never even said a word. A week later on, we saw you on a private plane to the US, carrying all sorts of people, unnecessary people to the US. Hapo ndo shida ikaanza. You never said a word. Ukirudi bado nyumbani, tukaanza mambo ya reject the finance bill, kanyamaza tu, ukaona tunena maandamano. You never said a word until watu wakaanza kuuliwa. That's when you decided to reject the finance bill. Mr. President, surely, mbona unanyamaza alafu unapenda uongo sana? Unaona tu vitu vinafanyika when it gets out of hand, alafu unaanza kuongea. Saizi kuna watu wanazika watoto wao saizi vile tunaongea. Saizi hata kuna rafiki yangu saizi anazikwa saizi, ni matanga. Hii wiki imekuwa ni matanga sababu ya maandamano. But you're here thinking about the economy. You're not even sympathetic to the families. Uja mention hata jina mtu mmoja.
Yes.
Kuna swali pia nilio umejibu kusema about Rongai. You asked us, kila mtu kwa hii space wanatoka from different regions in Nairobi, in Kenya. Yeah. Rongai, people are killed. Githurai, people are killed. However, the information you receive, unadhani they tell you only one person was killed. Okay, that's a life too. They do not feed you. They do not feed you the actual information. So you are just weighing the deaths of people, the number of people. You just tonight Kindiki was saying people are not killed, was not aware, people are not abducted. You are just arrested. Some of us were arrested, and your excuse is that the police unit is an independent body. Surely, Mr. President, watu watakuwa wanauliwa alafu unasema police unit is independent, alafu kata wanauliwa excuse unasema the economy is growing. How can?
Come on. Come on.
Right now the country is mourning. Properties worth of billions were banned. You have not addressed that. All you think about is the foreign policy. and the economic status of the country, not about the livelihood of the common mananchi. Surely, Mr. President, we need you to be with you. Be empathetic. Your government should be empathetic. You should stop this issue of police brutality. That's what we want right now. Personally, the police came to my house at 3 a.m. They broke into my house. They refused to identify themselves, and that was it. We were abducted. It was like kidnapping. Hii mambo mimi sikumbuki, nilikuwa nadhani mambo ya movie. Mr. President, tulishikwa, tukapigwa. They even stole some stuff from our house. Imagine askari anakuja, akona bunduki anaingia kwa nyumba, akona mask, 12 of them with 12 cars arresting a single guy, an armed citizen. Alafu ukimwambia mbona anakuja kushika, anakupiga. In the meantime bado anachukua vitu kwa nyumba yako. Unapelekwa place fulani hata ujini, not even a police station. When my friends were reporting the issue to the police station, they are not even aware. For my case, they even went to Parkland police station. That's where I was arrested. The OCPD told the guys, we know about this thing, but will not take any action. Meaning it was very criminal. The OCPD, Parkland police station, OCPD, deputy OCPD was very much aware what was going on. We were not booked in any single police station. We were taking a certain house. I think it was a safe house or something. I was blindfolded. Some guys were blindfolded for like 12 hours. Surely, Mr. President, are we in a terrorist country? We just want you to answer that.
Okay.
This is why we're in this space.
Thank you very much, my friend. I regret your situation. If that is the kind of treatment you have gone through, I apologize. And I will take action in this manner. No Kenya. And I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that there will be no extrajudicial killing. There will be no River Yala. There will be no, we used to have 20, 30 bodies in River Yala. When I came into office, I said nothing of that is ever going to happen. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that will not happen under my watch. However, I have had the kind of horror you have gone through. That is not right. What I will do after this engagement, I would like, I don't know, in a very secretive way, if you can send me the details of what happened, I will be able to take action, because you don't deserve the kind of treatment that you went through. Let me also say the following. You have talked about empathy. Maybe, people are born differently. Maybe we empathize in different ways. For the case of the floods, I even convened a whole cabinet meeting to just respond to that matter of floods. 3 cabinet meetings. My minister was on the ground. I was myself in Kiamaiko, in person. I came there in Kiamaiko. And for the first time, my brother, for the first time, normally when people are removed from places, they are brutalized. They are removed and nobody cares about where they go. Nobody cares about what happens to them. For the first time in the history of Kenya, I made sure that every Kenyan who was living in the riparian reserve was given money or alternative accommodation. We paid every Kenyan who left that place 10,000 shillings to be able to relocate away from the danger
10,000
of
to
the
relocate.
floods
10,000
that were on the river. I mean, it was the best that I could do in that circumstance. And
10,000.
I promised them that under our housing program, because we now have their list, under our housing program, we are going to consider them the first beneficiaries of our social housing program. I made that commitment in public If you ask our peers for housing, they already have the data on these Kenyans who were removed from the riparian reserve, who had to be relocated for their own safety. For your information, we lost many Kenyans who were sleeping there, but they were carried by the floods. And it was the best thing that I could do. I went there in person. My minister was there consistently. I had 3 different cabinet meetings to attend the issue. We committed close to 400 million to make sure that those Kenyans who were in that situation were attended to. Maybe it wasn't enough. Maybe I should have done more. Maybe then I should apologize for not doing more. But to the best of my ability, it is the first time the government of Kenya is providing money to relocate people who have been affected in situations like the one in the flood.
Okay, Mr. President, on the issue of Githurai, you said there was only one casualty, which is a lie. Mr. President, acha kwambia tu kweli. Githurai inasemekana there are more than 200 people who were shot dead. Some wengine hata hawajulikani mahali wako saizi, vile tunaongea ukweli saizi. In Rongai, they shot some guys pia, wakakuficha wakakwambia ni mtu mmoja. Na ni ukweli, reality kwa ground watu walikuwa wanauliwa. Ina ni ukweli watu walikuwa wanauliwa. Tulikuwa huko, wote tulikuwa maandamano. Alafu kuna issue nyingine. This rogue cop amekuwa kichapa watu risasi, anachapa watu risasi open air, kila mtu ana camera there. The DCI doesn't do anything about it. Amekuwa all over social media, in the media, but we don't even say a word about him. His name is Murangiri. That killer cop ameua watu wanazikwa kila siku sababu yake. Juzi ilikuwa last week Wednesday, nilikuwa town, nilimwona akitembea tu town vizuri along Moi Avenue, very happy, very healthy. He's a killer cop. Nothing has been done to him. Hivi vitu tumekuwa tukomplain tangu kitambo. For how long should we be talking about this, about the killer cops?
Okay, now what? Lakini nani, kwa nini ana mute huyu?
Sorry.
You can go ahead, Mr. President.
My good brother, you know, it is good to be brutally honest. And I will not, as president, or even as a Kenyan, ever say anything that is not factual, especially on a very serious matter of people losing lives. Are you saying 200 people were killed in Githurai? Really? I mean, my friend, I mean, where are can the family step forward? People who are saying our members of our family are missing. They went to Mandamano or they went to picket and they did not come back. 200 people is not a joke, my friend. So I really want to plead with you. I am sorry to tell you, you have wrong numbers. I'm sorry to tell you that. It is
Mr.
not possible.
We even have the names. It's all over social media. What
about social media? I want to offer you. I want to offer you. Tomorrow, I want to offer you to bring the names and family members of the people who are saying their loved ones are not there. Don't even take them anywhere. Bring them to State House. Them family members who are saying, I have lost so and so. My fellow, a member of my family was there on Monday last week. He went to Mandamano and he didn't come back. And where possibly are the bodies? You know? So I mean, really, my good friend, it is just good to be, you know, we are dealing with a very serious issue. Please let us not use information that is not verified. It just helps to create a situation that is not correct.
Mr. President, I have another question too. Mr. President, jana Kindiki alisema guys were being arrested, not abducted. When a guy is arrested, it means the area police station or the area OCS OCPD is aware. When I was arrested, Parkland's deputy OCPD was not aware, meaning these abductions are very illegal, right?
Let me say the following on matters of abduction. Let us agree fact that the era of extrajudicial killing is no longer with us. There is a new problem called abduction. And it is something that I am going to exercise my mind on, because the police have clear rules of how to arrest citizens if they have to arrest citizens. There is a clearly stipulated procedure on how that is done. And if anything is done outside the procedure, then it is illegal and it is punishable. So when the police arrest somebody, they must declare to that person that they are policemen, they are arresting this person for this and that and that and that, and they take him to a place that is known. So that is a matter that I will take up and I will deal with it.
Tapuru,
Okay.
Tapuru guys,
Thank you.
Tapuru, and had me the host.
Tuko na wewe bado utauliza maswali, naona umeanza wewe ni utero, so unaamua vile utafanya, but patia watu wengine chance.
Ai, Hussein Mohamed Goma.
We'll take 3 people.
Wakili Saruni. Niko kwa guest guys.
We have
Nime request
Alai, followed by Edith, followed by Gray, and then you can give Wakili after that 4. So again,
Hussein, I really don't think Alai should speak, because his comments will be biased. This space is basically about what we are going through in the street. Alai doesn't know about it. In short, Alai amekuwa kiongea mbaya kwa hili story ya maandamano. I really don't think
Alai can speak for himself. We can't limit anybody from speaking. Everybody has the freedom to speak.
No, Alai is very bad.
So
Thank you.
let's have
Mara can speak, but Alai, no, he has always been against this.
Thank you. Otero, I've been an advocate of freedoms for a very long time, especially when we don't agree. So I would ask you to learn that lesson, that you should listen to people, especially when they don't agree with you. And that's what the president is trying to do here. We don't agree with him, and that's why we want him to listen to us, and he agreed to come to the space. And moving forward, I really want to tell the president that, Mr. President, you know that your success is our success, and we really want you to succeed.
Aye.
The problem is that I don't know if you really want yourself to succeed as a president of Kenya. Because from the moment you got to be the president, there are things you did which I think just sabotage your presidency. When you decided to say that you are not going to listen to intern doctors, I said, does the president know what he's doing?
It's Robert
because
Alai.
he's touching the hearts of Kenyans.
That's Robert
These are the
Alai
people who
speaking,
spend
guys.
most of their time in public hospitals. When the president didn't take up the matter of pending bills and tell the counties and the national government to pay the pending bills, you know that one is touching the middle class, the working class. And these are the people who mobilize the children called Gen Zs. And they came out and said no. When you removed Linda Jamii, when we interfered with Edu Afia, when we saw your friends and very close associates working with bands of money, 10, 20 million in churches, Mr. President, I think you sabotage your own presidency. And that's why I ask myself that the president really tells us that he means well for the country. But is he really meaning well for himself? Because unless somebody else is the president who is doing all these things, the second and last question, because I don't want to spend more time, I'm an elected official in Nairobi, Mr. President,
Please.
is the issue of Nairobi on-source revenue, which we have asked, we have investigated, we have been taken around. Mara, it was KRA which is collecting that money. We have taken to office of the president. Finally, we were told that it's being collected in State House by some agency. We can't get, I'm the vice chairman of ICT in Nairobi City County Assembly. But nobody knows who is collecting the revenue for Nairobi City County, Mr. President. It really saddens me, because if that revenue was collected in a transparent and verifiable manner, then you know, Mr. President, some of these bills would be taken up by the counties, and it will not come to you in the national government so as to pay those bills, Mr. President? Those are the only questions which I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Alai. Edith?
Yeah, thank you for the chance to ask a question.
Edith, are you with us? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Guys,
Okay, let's go to
Tapuru,
Grace.
Tapuru.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, thank you so much.
Hello.
Aye.
Hussein. This is Grayson. Hussein, can you hear me? Oteru nanisikia?
Aye.
I can hear Eddie and I can hear the other gentleman.
I'd like to ask my
All right,
question
can I-
if you can all hear
Okay,
me.
let's have one person speak. Gray speak.
All right, thank you so much, Hussein. Edith, I'm sorry. So, Your Excellency, my name is Grayson Marwa. My question to you is one, and my question is on this very, very emotive and very, topic that we love talking about as a country, which is corruption. I know you stand on corruption. You have spoken about it many times. You don't condone corruption. You don't want corruption to happen in your government. But then I want to point out something. Recently, there was a scandal, with the fertilizer, and the CS was, impeached, or a motion was tabled in the National Assembly by a member of Parliament for him to be impeached. But what happened later is that, the same members of Parliament from your political party, the UDO party, went ahead and saved this particular cabinet secretary. What does that speak, to your stand regarding corruption? Do you support corruption on one hand, but on the other hand, because he is your CS, these are your members of parliament, they go ahead and flop that motion that was supposed to impeach this particular cabinet secretary. My last question, as a young person, there is a challenge of jobs in this country. But a month ago or so, in the dailies, there was a freeze that the public service is not hiring anymore. What are you trying to tell young people? Yet you say each and every day you want to ensure that we give jobs to these young people who go to school but don't have jobs out here. People are, forced to do things that they shouldn't be doing, and they went through the education system. If I can get a response to those two issues, I'd really appreciate. Thank you.
Grayson,
Do I
unaweza rudia question?
Do I answer those, or I thought we said we take three people? Can we take maybe Eddie? Eddie was somewhere. There is a lady called Eddie was somewhere or something.
Anakuba na Edi. Siajibu tu maswali jamani. Just
Edith Kimani.
answer what has been asked, alafu you can wait for the rest jamani.
Otero, from my end, I see she's a listener. Maybe you can add her to speak. From what I'm able to see on my end.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, guys, I've requested to speak.
As we wait for the engagement, can I proceed and answer?
Uko na echo.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Alai has mentioned three things. Mr. Alai, I want to tell you, Mheshimiwa, that I am acutely clear that even if I don't succeed, I want Kenya to succeed. The one thing that I am very clear about is what do we do to change the status of many Kenyans? Intern doctors. There was a long conversation with intern doctors. I made sure that they were attended to. I met the leadership of the intern doctors myself, finally, and we did make an agreement on how to sort out the intern doctor situation, including I have factored in this budget with their concurrence. When I agreed with them, we were supposed to sort out their arrears in 3 years. I offered to sort them out in 1 year after I engaged with them, and the money is in the budget. As I talk to you, I have even today decided that even with a cut of the finance bill, I will still make sure that they are sorted out. The issue of pending bills, you know, my good brother, we have pending bills in the region of 650 billion. It is the reason why I appointed Mr. Ouko, our former Auditor General, to interrogate all the pending bills for purposes of making sure that we can pay them. In fact, one of the items that I listed this afternoon, which was also in the budget, is a provision for us to begin the journey to sort out pending bills, because it is crippling businesses of people, it is destroying enterprises of Kenyans because government is not paying. The third thing that you have said about Linda Mama or Linda Jamii and Eduafia, I have done three things. Maybe the explanation. Let me give you just the explanation. On Linda Mama. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, you are, Mr. President.
You're boring.
What we are doing is, under our universal health coverage, I promise the people of Kenya that we need to ensure that we don't leave other Kenyans behind. Under our universal health coverage, in which this year we now have a budget for it, we are going to scale up the benefits of Linda Mama. That's why we have brought it, we have scaled it up into universal health coverage. We want it to reach more Kenyans. That's number one. Number two, we want to enhance the benefits. The benefits were 2,500 for women giving birth in hospital, in smaller hospitals, 5,000, and maximum of 17,000. We have now changed that from 2,500. We have moved the benefit to 11,000, and we have moved the upper benefit to 32,000. That is not a derogation. That is an upgrading of Linda Mama. Number two, Eduafia. What we are doing with Eduafia is that we are universalizing the universal health is universalizing insurance, so that every Kenyan, and you know, I made this absolutely clear, and that is why we have changed the law, so that not just the students who are in school, but every Kenyan, even those who are not in school, will now be beneficiaries of our chief social health. We, instead of having NHIF, we are now going to have social health insurance fund, which is going to cater for everybody.